Welcome back. So we want to unpack a little bit about how fraudsters think about going after e-commerce today, and what are the type of fraud schemes that could happen in e-commerce with physical goods that you can ship and all kinds of stuff like that.
Fraudsters like physical goods. We like to use stolen credit card details to buy the physical goods. We like to set up new accounts and get those new credit cards in other people's names to buy physical goods. But the big one right now is this first-party fraud, or what fraudsters are calling refund fraud. So think of it like this. I set up an account with an online merchant, and then I order a product, a laptop, whatever that may be. I get it in, and then a few things can happen. I can say it never arrived. And sometimes the company will send me a new one. I can say that the box arrived, but there was nothing in the box. And believe it or not, that actually works. I mean, I've bought things from Best Buy before, and sometimes I'll buy a video game, and it's only happened a couple of times, but I open it up and there's nothing there.
Right.
You take it back in and they'll give you a new one back. So fraudsters claim that with things like laptops or cell phones, things like that. You can start a refund, tell them you're going to send the product back, and then fake the tracking information to make it appear that that product has been sent back. The merchant thinks it has, and it's not, and they give you the refund like that. So the idea is that the fraudster gets to keep the physical product, gets his money back as well, and then continues going on like that.
I can see how that's beneficial to the fraudster.
Very beneficial to the fraudster. And I explain it like that. It doesn't sound like it. Okay, it doesn't sound like it's that big of a fraud. We're talking about some of these fraudsters that are profiting hundreds of thousands of dollars a week doing this type of fraud. It's very easy to profit $10,000, $20,000 a week doing this kind of stuff.
And so how should a e-commerce merchant think about how to make their refund or return policies less lucrative for that?
It is. So, the issue is for e-commerce, a lot of e-commerce companies want that very frictionless customer experience. They want to make sure that the customer experience is a happy experience.
Of course.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Except when you've got fraud involved.
Right.
And the idea is it's a policies and procedures problem more than anything. You need to be looking at, okay, what are the payment instruments being used? A lot of the times, fraudsters, they start out using their real name and their real bank account information. So is the account new that's being used? Once they mine out their information and their bank account, a lot of the times they switch over to prepaid debit cards, gift cards, things like that. So you need to be paying attention to the type of payment instrument that's being used. You need to pay attention to when the account is opened, what type of traffic has been on the account, because now fraudsters are realizing that, well, we need to age out that account. So how do we age it out? Well, we'll buy a couple of small items and then all of a sudden buy that high dollar item and try to refund it like that. So pay attention to the traffic, pay attention to the devices which are accessing it, because a lot of the times they're using the exact same cell phones or laptops to hit that account with multiple different types of accounts that are set up. It's paying attention to the data that's there, also understanding that fraudsters, a lot of the type of people that I used to be, we commit a fraud, we live off the proceeds of that fraud, and as those proceeds begin to dwindle, we bankroll the next fraud. So if you can delay the time that you're paying out these refunds, like a lot of merchants right now are having instant return policies. So as soon as they recognize that tracking number, it's a great user experience. I drop it off at the UPS store, I get my money immediately. Well, a fraudster that's faking the tracking information,
that's a fantastic model.
It's a fantastic model. So you need to understand that. Pay attention to the data. I'm not saying to change it for the legitimate customers, but you can pretty much determine who those illegal customers are.
So maybe on a risk-based approach, the more risky it looks, change the refund policy a little bit dynamically. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Bob.
One more thing, I forgot this. It's important to realize that this is a fraud problem, because a lot of the times e-commerce recognizes it or lists it as a customer service problem. This is a fraud issue, so the fraud team really needs to be looking at this as well.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next segment.